ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Hey everybody, I'm not going to be on here long. Just letting everybody know what's going on and where I've been today and what's up now. So let's switch this around, and I'll kill the music. That I do. Welcome everybody. I'm Will Bard. This is Cold Break Confessional. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Another late start. I wasn't even going to do a show today, but then I realized like I put stuff on Telegram and Discord, or maybe I send it to the mods, but I don't tell everybody. So I just want to let everybody know what was going on. This isn't going to be a regular show. It's just like it says, an update. So I'm live on all the platforms, and I'll make sure to repost the replay here on Twitch in case you missed it. So Dad's been having some issue with his feet. We got his 1 foot healed. Basically, he's free and clear of wound care on there. But in between the last visit to wound care to get the free go ahead to stop seeing wound care, he was actually out in the rain working, clearing a storage shed or something. And he got a blister on his foot, which got worse. He started on the bottom of his foot, kind of spread around to the side of his foot, made a blood blister. Any type of moisture to his feet is really bad. It separates the skin. He's diabetic. He's got congestive heart failure. There's already moisture, like sometimes in real bad shape, like it'll push through his legs. Like it makes, big blisters, ulcers. So it got pretty bad. And he had also tested positive on a COVID test, even though he's got no symptoms. So he ended up going to the emergency room over the blister and COVID just to make sure he was all right on a Monday. His wound care is only once a week. They're only in our small town once a week, and that is Tuesdays. So the doctor gave him some antibiotics, said these antibiotics for your foot will take care of the COVID too, especially if you don't have any symptoms. Most of the versions of COVID right now are super light. You know, it's just maybe a headache, maybe some fatigue, whatever. So no coughs, no trouble breathing, nothing whatsoever. He really has no issues with the COVID. But he's like, this antibiotics that I'm giving you for your foot will also help treat the COVID. And just, you got wound care tomorrow, so I'm not going to do anything else about the wound. Well, we went to wound care the next morning, which would be Tuesday morning, and they couldn't see him. They said that it has to be at least a week after he tested positive for COVID before they can see him. Of course, they don't want to get sick. I know one of their nurses is like pregnant. Nobody wants to get sick, right? So they're like, but do you need anything from us? And I told them what was going on. I even showed them pictures of the wound. And they told me to treat it the same way I'd been treating it. If it's staying wet, use Acticoat and gauze and betadine to dry it out. And if it seems like it's dry and stable, then you can use Prisma, which is like a bandage that kind of dissolves into like a collagen thing, like goo, but it promotes like granular tissue because it's got collagen in it. So it helps heal faster. But you don't want to use it when the foot's wet because it holds moisture. So if you can dry out the wound, you can use Prisma. But if the wound won't dry out, you use the other thing. Well, that was the first day I had personally seen it. It was after we left there, and I went, and I had to cut open a blood blister just to make sure it drained. It wasn't holding water. And it spread a little bit over the next day. It didn't like move anywhere. It just got bigger, right? Mostly because there's already moisture underneath the skin. So that separated, and I cut it back, trimmed it back. It hasn't got any bigger. It hasn't got any worse technically, but it just wasn't getting better. It wasn't drying out. It wasn't getting better. So that brings us to, I think it was Friday. That was all on Tuesday, the first time I saw it. Then when Wednesday, Thursday, I doctored him up. And then on Friday, I told him, hey, it's not getting better the way I'd like to see it get better. It looks pretty bad. It's not drying out. So I told him, he was still on antibiotics since that Monday. And he was probably 6 days past a positive COVID test. But wound care is not open on the weekends. It's like a 9 to 5, like outpatient thing. So I told him, I was like, you're going to need to go to the emergency room. And I gave him the option because I didn't think it'd make a big difference. It was late at night when I changed his bandage. Actually, I was even late for the show. It's like 8 p.m. when I was changing his bandage. So I was like, I know you're tired because I could tell he's wore out. I was like, you could go tonight. We'd go first thing in the morning. He chose that he wanted to go in the morning, and I was like, that's fine. I'll meet you there. We made plans, whatever. So I changed his bandage, and then we went to the morning. So we come to the ER, and they're kind of acting kind of weird because they just saw him on Monday, and they told him to follow up with wound care. They didn't do it. The ER didn't even put a bandage back on his foot. Like when I pulled his sock off, his sock was stuck to the wound. Like the first time he went, like they did nothing for his foot because they thought he was going to wound care in the morning, I'm assuming. So I went back there. We went back to the ER in our local town. They checked him out. They drew some blood, did some blood work, did a culture, and it turns out he does have an infection there, as they thought. And they started pushing more antibiotics, this time IV antibiotics instead of oral. The first time he was at the emergency room on Monday, they were supposed to give him IV antibiotics, and they even put in a catheter like you would to, push fluids. And they never gave him the IV antibiotics. Instead, they just gave him a prescription to get him home. We got him the next day. But this time they did. They've done like 10 bags of antibiotics. It's crazy. They did there's not a lot of meat on your foot. You know what I mean? Like there's not like a bunch of fat or a bunch of tissue or muscle. It's mostly just like skin covering and bone and muscle kind of right at the top layer. So they initially did an X-ray. The portable machine was down, so they had to roll him down to take an X-ray of his foot. And it looks like there might be some infection in the bone, which is not good. Usually when you get infection in the bone, they give you like a couple days to get it out of there. And if that's not happening, they want to go ahead and take part of that bone, grind on that bone or do something, because you're kind of fighting a losing battle. It can spread from bone to bone to bone, and IV antibiotics may never touch it. And you might have been from losing like the tip of your pinky toe, you might be into like losing half your foot by the time they fuck around with antibiotics too long. But that's not a decision they'll make at our little hospital. So we were waiting and thinking that it might be Monday before he got to go to the next hospital up, which is a larger hospital, the medical center, where his podiatrist also comes and does rounds and visits, and they have better teams, more people, blah, blah. So they put him in a room. He's been there for the last couple of days. They said it would probably be Monday before they could get him to the medical center. Turns out they come and got him tonight. That's where I've been all day, is sitting with him, hanging out with him. So they got transport over there maybe about 8:30, 9, something like that. And I went over there and made sure he got set up, and everything was all right. He got set up in his room. He sat there. He seems to be in good spirits. I mean, he's upset about the infection obviously being in his bone. He already lost his big toe off his other foot. And he has a friend who's kind of a dick that we saw one time at a wound care clinic in Johnson City, who's lost both of his legs. And Dad was like, I got this, issue. They had to take my big toe. This was a year or two ago, back when Mom was still alive. And I took him over there because I think Mom wasn't feeling well. She used to go to all his doctor's appointments. But his friend was like, oh, that's how it starts. That's how it starts, and you'll look just like me. So his dad's got that in his head. He told somebody the other day, he's like, oh, if it's in there, they'll take half my foot, which isn't true. A lot of times they want to take as little as possible, and they may be a little bit overzealous if they do take something and say, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get to the next joint. That's what they did on his big toe. So they took, on his big toe, they just took part of it. And then the next thing, it already spread. So they're like, well, we need to take the whole toe. And the doctor is like, look, I can just take this whole toe and we can hope it works out. It's not showing in that bone behind it yet. Or I can take that next toe and I can grind that part of the bone behind it down, and we can be sure we got it. And Dad chose to be sure they got it. So they can be overzealous sometimes and take more, but it's not like you get an infection in your pinky toe and they take your whole fucking leg. You know what I mean? They're not like that. That's the way the guy made it seem, and that's kind of Dad gets sidetracked sometimes and thinks that's what's going to happen, but hopefully not. It's on his pinky toe side. It's on his exterior side on his left foot. It had a little bit of like almost like pustulence, like pus buildup, and a little bit of a depth to it. Not much. It was still in layers of skin, but there's one spot that they took the culture from. They was really able to like move some stuff around and get a little bit of depth to it. But what I'm hoping is these strong ass antibiotics, as fast as they've been given to him, maybe they'll kick it out of his system and maybe he'll be able to heal without having to worry about the infection. We just don't know. We just now got to the hospital that'll be able to do the full range of tests and actually see what's going on and make a recommendation. So that's where we're at. He got in the ER, and I wasn't going to go over there, but then I got worried. They sent my mom over there one time, and she was kind of out of it right before she died, when she had her kidney infections and strokes and all the stuff that went wrong, all from a kidney infection, from a UTI. She had a bunch of stuff go wrong, and they left her down in the emergency room for a while. And then when she got up to her room, she was confused and didn't know what was going on. And I almost had a fucking flashback, because when I walked through the door, there was a guy sitting in a wheelchair Dad was supposed to be taken to her room. There was a guy sitting in a wheelchair at the front that looked just like my dad from behind. Was wearing the same shirt, was wearing the same colored shirt, same colored hat, just sitting in a wheelchair, just staring out the window. And I couldn't see his face, but he was staring out the window with his back to me. And I thought, God damn it, if they left my dad down here in the fucking lobby. Because they basically did that to my mom once. But anyways, so I went and checked on him. He's doing good. He got something to eat. My sister will be going there in the mornings. I don't get up super early because I stay up all night basically worrying and freaking out about shit or doing a show. So my sister's going to go over there early in the morning, then I'll be back over there about lunchtime. I know it's kind of affected the content, but I don't really know what to do, to be honest with you. Like most of the time I spend there, and then the few times I am like by the office or whatever, it just isn't enough to do anything. I am planning a couple of events, so I've got to make up Patreon videos. I'm so freaking far behind. It isn't even funny. And people are going to start bailing on Patreon. But I do want to make it up to those people. Another thing that we got going on is the charity fundraiser. The charity fundraiser is coming up on the 8th, and that'll be for Hope for the Day. That's in 4 days. That's really 3 days from now because we're going into the 5th. So the 8th. And then I got a bot. I went and got a bot. You guys said you might be interested in doing a subathon one day. So I went and got a bot that basically what it'll be is we'll do like a 6 or 8 hour stream from the start. This might be a week or 10 days from now, but I'm going to do a 6 or 8 hour stream on Twitch only. And the way it works is every time there's a sub or a gifted sub or anybody subscribes, I think I can even make a certain donation amount. It adds time to the clock. And we'll put a limit on it. We'll say the longest it can take is, a week or something. But basically, the more people sub, the longer the stream goes. And it becomes almost like a challenge at some point. Like, you've already done 8 hours, plus if you get 5 minutes per sub and you got like 20 subs or whatever, that's another 100 minutes. But you can make it go on forever. But we'll put a limit on it. And even if it takes longer than I'm willing to stay at the office, we'll just swap over to the phone. And we'll keep it going the same time or same everything. So we got a subathon probably coming up. We've got a subathon coming up. We got the charity event. Actually, the charity event, basically it's a charity company that puts these on, and they contacted me to do these, and they handle the giveaways and everything. That way no one can say I cheated or stole the money, or I don't even see the money. It goes to their link and they distribute it or whatever. And they're a legit company. You can look them up, but they're actually impressed with the new numbers that we got on Twitch. So we got a really cool guys, like during the second hour of the charity streams, we always do a giveaway. They come up with a really cool giveaway this time for you guys. I think a lot of people will like it. Or if you win the prize and you don't like it, you can just accept the cash. They'll give you the cash value for it. It takes a little while to get it. I forget who the last person that won it was. It takes like 60 days or something like that, but to get the cash, but still, if you win it. So what'll happen is at some point during the charity stream, I'll say, okay, we're going to do the giveaway, and it'll give you 5 minutes. Anybody who donates in that 5 minutes gets entered to win whatever the prize is. I don't think they want me to reveal what the prize is yet until it's time, but it's a pretty cool prize. I told Mariah, some other people about it, and hopefully that works out. So we got a charity stream, a subathon, a bunch of Patreon stuff to make up. I had somebody email me today and was like, well, every time I try to find you, you're on a different platform, and I guess it's not always on Rumble. Yes, for a year, I've been saying my main platform is Twitch, and if you might see me other places, but if you want to see everything I do, you should probably be on Twitch. I don't think I've ever changed that or shied away from it in the last year. Like, it's Twitch. If there's a change in the future, I'll announce it. But right now, if you want to see the majority of my content, it's Twitch. And if you want to see, if you're just a Rumble person, you're like, fuck Twitch, then you can watch me on Rumble. But I won't always be there, or Facebook or whatever. I'll always be on Twitch, for the time being. I'm trying to think of anything else. It shouldn't be as bad as like the last couple of times my dad was in the hospital because my sister's out. She's a school teacher, so she's out for summer. So hopefully that lets her come and set more and swap out more. Me and her do the majority of the lifting, and then I have another sister that gets there as she can, I guess. But we will do that. All that. My other sister works a full-time job and stuff, so. She doesn't have like a schedule like mine or even like my middle sister who's out in the summer. So we'll be swapping back and forth who sets with them, whatever. But they do the mornings because I'm not awake then. It's just been a really rough week, I guess. Is what I'm trying. It's been a shitty week. I feel bad because I was the one that was in charge of like Dad's wound care, and now I feel like I waited too long. And the big issue when he lost his toe was my mom was doing his wound care. And they definitely waited too long. Now my mom's gone, so I took over the wound care to make sure this didn't happen again. And it seems like it's happened again, but it just happened so fucking fast. It just happened so fucking fast. I can't believe that when we went in there and they said, oh, it looks like it might, which their x-ray's not all conclusive. He said it looks like it's in the bone. They got to do an MRI to confirm that. So we haven't had an MRI yet, but I just can't believe how fast it spread. Plus there's some mixed in of how much was he staying off of it and how much was he on it, how much, I can only control what I can control, but still I wish I would have took him to the doctor earlier or maybe fought harder with wound care and said, fine, if wound care won't see him, we'll stay in the ER. But I didn't know it was going to be like this, or obviously I would have done something different. Either way, he's in the medical center now. There's no better place for him. Like, it's not anything he needs. They're there. Went ahead and waited around and checked in with the nurse that's there. She seemed really nice, and they just know he's there for the wound, IVs, and see what they're going to do about his foot. I feel bad for him because he's lost a lot of weight. He's changed his diet. He's trying to do better. His sugar's a lot better. His primary care physician even had one of the nurses call him and talk about how his A1C is so much better and they're so proud of him and shit. But it might be, at least it's going to feel like it's all for naught if he starts losing pieces of his foot. I don't want to see him get depressed or down from that. So, he qualifies for home health, but man, it seems like it's an arm and a leg getting people to do it and put it in. Like when they took his big toe, he had a wound vac, so they had to give him home health. And then before that, when he just had the infection and they just took part of it before they put him on the wound vac, he had those little Medi balls. I don't know what they're really called. They look like party balls to me, but it's little IV balls that you take home and they're already pressurized, so you don't have to hang them up. And we couldn't even get the home health for that or nothing like that. Of course, I had to fucking change them. My mom had no idea how to do it, so I was in there fucking changing a PICC line infusion. But anyways, finally they gave it to him in a wound vac, but it just seems like they don't want to, I don't know, they don't want to do it. They don't want to put it in. Maybe home health has stretched their limits. Maybe they can't get people to work. I don't know. Because when they do show up, they're really nice. They're really professional. They do a really good job. It's just hard getting on the list or whatever. So we'll see what we can do. I don't want him to lose any more of his foot. Which just is the other foot. He lost a toe on his right foot. Now we're on his left foot. I don't want him. I would like him to have one good foot with no missing parts. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see what we can do. Either way, I'll keep you guys updated. I update probably Discord and Telegram more than anything. With personal stuff like this, I don't put like personal stuff on my like Twitter or Facebook usually. I don't even use my personal Facebook. I know people add me on my personal Facebook. That's kind of used. Just add the show page. I don't even log into my personal Facebook. I just log into the show page. But yeah, if you're on Discord or you're on Telegram, that's where you get more personal stuff about the kids in my life and Mariah. And then the other ones have more like show announcements or jokes or whatever. So I'll be around. I'm going to go get some rest. So maybe I can get up and over there a little bit earlier and get back to do a show tomorrow evening. But if you need me, hit me up, or one of the moderators tag a mod and they'll save it for me for later. But I haven't had a whole lot of time to put together any content or respond to anybody. I haven't had time to do anything. I've either been at the hospital or I've been here, or at the house. Very little. So either way, thank you guys for hanging on. Thank you for being understanding. If you want to support the stream, you can do it at coldbeer.fund. We will be making up a lot of stuff. If you can hang on, I understand some people are going to be like, fuck Patreon. We haven't had a show in like 2 weeks. If you can hang on, cool. If you can't, I get it. I mean, a lot of people left when my mom passed away, and I'm sure people leave this time when my dad's in the hospital. It's part of it. But if you can't hang on, I'm going to make up a lot of those shows, as many as I can as soon as I get everything straightened out. So either way, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be back over there tomorrow with some updates. I'll probably start doing either little voice or videos, voice memos or little video messages. It's just easier to type, especially now that I'm going to be driving like 40 minutes to get there and 40 minutes back. That'll give me time to record something, and I can't really text and drive on the interstate. So either way, thank you guys. I appreciate it. hang in there, and we'll be back with some new content soon. I got Intel Lady that wants to come on the show. We've been talking about that in the background, and I've got, I think I might go on, you guys remember Tony from the Veritas Machine? I think I might go on his show one day and just hang out, catch up. I haven't talked to him in a while publicly. I mean, we've talked a little bit the last couple of days, but either way, be looking for those people. A subathon and the charity stream. Charity stream, I want to make a big event. The subathon, I want to make a big event. Even if we come up with the rewards for the subathon too. The charity kind of, I don't want to do crazy rewards on the charity, like, stuff, edgy stuff, right? Because I'm representing a charity. But we do a subathon, we can do all kinds of weird shit. It doesn't matter if the company likes us or not, right? So either way, thank y'all for joining us, and I'm going to hop off here and try to get back at that. And, support the show while we're offline, coldbeer.fund. Other than that, hit me up. I'll answer you around hospital visits. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll make sure to post these replays. You can reach me on, email coldbeerconfess@gmail.com, Discord, Telegram, private messages. Twitch even has whispers. I don't check them as often as I should, but I check them at least once a day. So Twitch whispers or their messenger, whatever you need to do. And we'll see you guys. Thank you. And I'll holler back at y'all. Have a good night, everybody. I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that chat command, by the way. Nobody uses that tips email. I try to get people to use it. Nobody uses it, so I'm going to change it. There it is. It's updated now. I wanted people to use that for, like, if they want to connect to me about the show, and then the other email, but it didn't work. No one caught on. So there you go. coldbeerconfess@gmail.com. You're not late. I always planned on going offline as soon as you showed up at Suko. You're not late. You're good. I thought y'all could hear the music playing. I guess not. I saw his brother on Twitter begging for people to report his location to LAPD or some shit, Burgie. We had another sponsorship for a video game that I think has lapsed that I was going to do. I like to do one a month because I don't get paid for them for 90 days. So if I keep them in order, it's like a little paycheck every month. But if I wait and don't do any for like 90 days, it's like 3 months before I get paid for one. But I think I may have let it lapse because I didn't do it already. I'll have to check into that. I know you guys, some of y'all still playing the puzzle game. The zombie puzzle game? I did find a show that it's a show that I thought was interesting. I've been listening to the book in the background. The show is called Silo, but the books are called Wool, Dust, and something else. Hold on. I still have Audible from where I signed up for like an old ass promotion they did. Like I did Audible once. So I listened to a lot of books. It's called Wool, Shift, Dust. And apparently one is the Silo series, but it's a show on Apple TV. It's actually really good, or it has been for me so far. There's only 6 episodes. I don't have Apple TV, but I know how to pirate stuff. Check it out if you're interested. It's basically like a future where I guess they all live in this giant underground silo because the outside is toxic. Or is it? You know, that kind of deal. It's pretty good. I like that. What was that show that come on Netflix? It was called The 100 or The 99 or something, where they send those teenagers down to Earth. These guys, I don't know. It reminds me of something like that. All right, see you guys. Thanks for hanging out, listening to my announcement. I appreciate it. And like I said, I'll try to get back with you guys as quickly as possible. Even if I got to do some pre-recorded stuff or maybe make some stuff up in the day or maybe just some short stuff. Maybe if I can only go live for an hour, maybe that's what I do. But I'll try to get back with you guys. Hang in there. I know it must be tough being a fan of mine and seeing the bird curse come into full effect each time we go around. So see you guys. I appreciate it. And Atsuko, get here on time or don't get here at all. How about that? See you guys.